So, you're a fan of bookshelves, are you? Well, it's a good thing you are because today we're going to put some bookshelves up in a battle to see who is a shelf lord. So, if you guys know, a few months ago I did a similar video where I put some booktubers' bookshelves in the arena to see who would come out on top. And I'm going to do the same thing here again today, but with authors. So, this is the author edition of the bookshelf battle where I'm going to take these photos, take a look at them, and rank them on a unique scale of Shelf Novice, Shelf Knight, Shelf Commander, and of course, Shelf Lord. So if you're ready to dive into some beautiful bookshelves and see who is a Shelf Lord, let's get into it. Alright, first up, we're going to start off with a new indie author who has a book that's coming out here very soon, who I've actually already read. I've read two of his books so far, being Scott Palmer, and I am excited to take a look at the shelf because so far, at a first glance, it's looking very, very clean, not cluttered at all, with some room for more books as well. And I really like the green background to this wall. I think it's green or it's gray. I could be colorblind. I don't know. And so far, it's looking pretty dang good, man. So I think we have some more photos here too. Right. Oh yeah. So this might be a different shelf. So wow, yeah, we got a lot of books going on here for Mr. Scott Palmer. And look at this photo. This one's a little bit more dramatic. We have some of the blurring in the background. We have Ryan Cahill right here in the middle. We got Lord of the Rings. Looks like we got Dune down there. So this is a great photo. Again, very clean. Lots of books. And you see right here, Lord of the Rings, you can see that he definitely read that book. So I'm a big fan of that. Overall, it's looking uniform. It's looking clean. And we got room for more. So in terms of ranking for Scott Palmer, I think I'm going to go Commander. So Scott Palmer, you're looking pretty dang good, man. Great shelf. And I can't wait to see how it grows, especially when you get your own book and you put it on your shelf and display it as well. Alright, the next bookshelf is going to come from an author named Nick Horvath, and I've actually read his book that came out not too long ago, which is called Sledge versus the Labyrinth. And my goodness, this room looks like, or at least this photo, looks like it should be in a magazine. I mean, I love this chair in the middle. It adds a really cool homey feel to it with the wood grain on the back. I see we got the inn right here as well. You can rest your feet up and just sit back and relax and start reading. And the amount of books here, man, there is so many, and I love it. It feels like a library in here. And I see right back here, we have his book, Sledge versus the Labyrinth, which looks great. I also love the deer head on here, but it doesn't look like a real deer head. I don't know what material that is, but it looks pretty cool. If you look over here, we have like another reading nook. That's another spot for reading. So far, I'm seeing four spots for reading, maybe 5 if you count this little box cube thing. You can sit over there too. And I didn't even talk about this just yet. We have speakers right here, so it looks like this chair right in the middle is in the perfect spot to just listen to some great music while reading a book. Feedback, I mean, I do see something that looks like a purple sock down here. I don't know what that is, but you know what? Overall, the room looks fantastic. Now this is a bookshelf, and I have to do it. Shelf Lord right here for Nick Horvath. Beautiful, love it, and I could sit in here for many, many hours. All right, next up we have T.A. Bruno, who is an author. I have 4 of his books, and I haven't read a single one yet, and I'm very sorry about that. But I do want to, I really do. But let's look at your bookshelf real quick, and just right off the bat, man, this thing is looking freaking cool. I love how we have this ambiance to it, right? We have this green glow to the sides that kind of trails up to this almost rainbow pattern with this green, yellow, red. It looks really cool. I mean, knick-knackage looks great. We have books as well. Books might not be the focus here, but it looks great. It looks fantastic. We have your books right here as well, down below, beyond, and also, of course, in the orbit of Sirens. I love how this is like a cubby system, so you have different sections or different cubbies that are focused on a particular thing. Like this one is all The Expanse, which I just made a post about that on Instagram not too long ago where I've only read the first book of The Expanse. It looks like you have all of them here. So for that, you might get extra bonus points because you read a lot of books there that I still really want to read. Yeah, we can But from here, you can tell a lot of things about T.A. Bruno. We have a history of gaming down here, because we have that N64 controller down here, which looks really cool, and the SNES and the NES controller too. We got some Pokemon down here. We got a Bulbasaur down here. We got a Squirtle. I mean, what can go wrong? Oh, I spotted this. We got Paul Atreides right here, I think, and Children of Dune. I think that's Dune Messiah right there too. So a lot of things are working for me right here. This looks great. Oh, Cyberpunk Cubby right here with Thrill Switch and Neuromancer. And do androids dream of electric? It makes me kind of pale in comparison in terms of my knickknackage. Like I do not have a lot of knickknacks. And after looking at this, I feel like I need to get some more knickknacks. So maybe T.A. Bruno, maybe you can 3D print me some more knickknacks in the future, because your shelves are looking fantastic. In terms of the ranking, right, we have a lot of similar tastes here, but in terms of the ranking for you, I'm going to go with Shelf Lord. I mean, it's clean, it's organized, you got knickknacks that kind of add to each of these cubbies, and you have a deep focus on books, which I can appreciate. So, Shelf Lord for T.A. Bruno. Alright, next up is going to be David Hopkins, and I actually read his book as well, which came out, I think, last year, which is called The Dryad's Crown, or Dryad's Crown, however you pronounce that. But he is entering the ring to rumble. So this, again, is a very clean-looking shelf, full of books, with Wheel of Time at the very top, sitting supreme. We also have what looks like an old-school Nike shoe, which gives me a little bit more into David Hopkins' lifestyle. He has a focus on shoes and books, which I can also appreciate. It looks great. This is almost like similar to T.A. Bruno's shelf system in terms of a bunch of different cubbies, which looks good as well. But it looks like we do have some focus on Brandon Sanderson right here. We got some classics like with Moby Dick right there. We got some more fantasy that I'm familiar with. And we have Geralt, it looks like, up here as well. So he is a Witcher fan. So I'm a fan of that too. But David, what did you think of the TV show of The Witcher? Did it live up to your expectations? I don't know. But overall, clean shelf. We got this big chess piece up here as well. So I think you're a fan of chess. And yeah, actually, there's a book right here that says chess. So, yes, you are a chess fan, which I like to see. For my ranking, going off of this photo right here, I'm going to put you in the Shelf Knight category, sir. Looks great. You have a deep love for books, which is very apparent with some of these special editions over here as well, with the Wheel of Time and a Game of Thrones. It looks fantastic. You are a Shelf Knight. Next up is going to be Marie Sinajan, who has this bookshelf that looks very clean to the point. Not too many books, which is fine because maybe you're just getting started reading, or you don't have enough space in your home at the moment to stack more and more books, which can be good sometimes, so you're not spending too much money on books when you don't really need it. But so far, I mean, very clean. I mean, we're to the brim here. We have books that are touching the next shelf here. And looking at these books here, I recognize a couple of them, like Wool and Shift. I know those two. And I think I've seen this one before too, A Touch of Light. But other than that, these are all books that I don't think I've seen before. So question for Marie. Out of these books here, which one was your favorite? It also looks like we got some Elsa action going on over here. So we have a Disney fan with a Marvel book right here as well. What if Loki was worthy? So I know you said right here, this is all I got because I'm trying not to hoard. Of course, she's trying not to hoard, which is kind of becoming more difficult when you have books that are stacking to the next shelf. So right here, I'm going to put this in the Shelf Novice category. I think you have a fantastic start that's going to grow over time, even though you're trying not to hoard. I mean, when you get into book collecting, that try becomes harder and harder, where you eventually just give in. Alright, next up is going to be another indie author who I've not read just yet, but it's definitely a book that has my interest, for sure, with that being Adrien Gibson, with his book being called Mushroom Blues. But this is his shelf right here. It looks great. I love the posters here at the top, coming from the series, The Sprawl, Neuromancer from William Gibson, because I definitely recognize this left one over here, because I've seen it many times for Neuromancer, but these two I have never seen before, and they look freaking epic. So I was actually talking with Adrien, and these come from the same illustrator, and these are great posters. They also highlight your love for the cyberpunk genre, which is also something that I have deep in my heart as well for the genre. So maybe you get some brownie points there. because so far this is definitely working for me. And look at the shelf as well. I mean, it's not a huge shelf, but it is stacked. I don't think there's any more room in books unless you put books in front of each other, which you kind of did down here at the very bottom. Okay, here we go. We got more books that is also packed to the brim, man. I think you might need to look into a new shelf because you are stacked up. And as you know, like I just said earlier, when you are a book collector, you're going to keep growing and growing this collection, but I love this shelf as well because it's not in like the typical just horizontal format. We have some vertical cubbies in here. We got some kind of wider cubbies. Like they're not all the same sizes, so it gives it a little bit more dimension. It gives it a little bit more of a different look compared to a standard shelf, which again, stacked. I mean, we got mad high stacks here of books. So Adrien, I'm going to put you in the shelf night category. I think this looks very clean, very organized. And you don't really have room to grow because you hit the max here. But I'm excited to see how it expands, especially when you have your own book somewhere displayed in the shelf as well. All right, the next shelf is going to come from another indie author named Zas Diamanti. And I actually just finished his prequel novella into his Stone and Sky series, which was it was called Preludes. And I had a fantastic time in that book because it just felt alive. I mean, it was just quintessential epic fantasy told in a very short narrative, a very short story. It was just a ton of fun, while also scary at some points too. But getting to the point of this video, look at this shelf, man. I mean, I don't know what I can judge here. I mean, just looking at it, it is a shelf lord shelf, absolutely. Like that pastel green color looks so freaking good. And I know he uses as his backdrop for all his videos, which also helps his videos just stand out with that green color in the background. I mean, it's a good look. And up here at the very top, it looks like we have like a samurai in a glass box, which is cool. I don't know what it represents, but I like it. And we have like a box over here as well. And I'm trying to see what it says, but I can't really see the words. And no, I'm not going to zoom in, okay? And over here at the right, we have this very nice chair to also read the books in as well. Only thing that I can see that I would want out of this is maybe a footrest, so you can kind of lean back a little bit and get really cozy next to this fire over here as well. So this is just a cozy room. Shelf lord status, absolutely. It's just beautiful and just pulls the eyes almost immediately when looking at this thing. Next up is going to be Jake Theol. Hopefully I said that last name right, but we have some pictures of books here out of a shelf, and you can definitely see that this guy likes books. Absolutely. We got some indie books down here. We have some Blake Crouch. We got The Expanse as well. And we have some, I think, Legos. And we got a butterfly. And also looks like a Star Wars Lego set as well. And going to this one, I mean, you know, we got stacks of books here that are kind of spilling over next to this fish, this piranha looking thing. And we got some Michael Crichton over here too. We got some Artemis. So it's definitely a full shelf that has a lot going on here for sure. And we have another shelf over here as well with some Dune going on. We got Alien. And then just another random stack over here as well. That's kind of like teetering on the edge of falling over. So I love the collection here. I think it looks great. Maybe it could use some work in the organization of the actual layout of the books. But, it's subjective. If this is what you like, then go ahead and do it, man. But in terms of the ranking, I'm going to put you in the Shelf Novice category because you have the books. I think just the presentation could be worked on, but that's just my opinion. Alright, the last shelf that we're going to look at today is by an author who I have not read just yet, with that being Natalie Kelda. So let's take a look at this shelf right here. So yeah, we have a lot of books. We actually have a double stacking or some books in front of other books here, which is sometimes seen as a no-no, but you're working with what you got here, and we definitely have a lot of books going on. And what's pretty funny is that most of these books are almost the same height besides this one right here that's sticking up. Also, this edition of Jurassic Park that's blue, I don't know what that looks. I don't think I've ever seen a blue Jurassic Park before, so I'm interested in seeing what that cover looks like. But we also have some more room up here at the top. It looks like we have, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's one of those like air refreshener that just spits out a mist of fresh air every so often. But we also have this plant here that trails down like a big old vine, which I am a fan of. Having some greenery in a bookshelf is always a good look as well. But I think we also have another photo in here with more shelves that has more room to grow for sure. With not too many books on this shelf particularly just yet, but we do have some bowls which are not that big of a bowl. So if you were to eat cereal in there, you would get through that bowl of cereal pretty dang quickly. But besides that, I mean, we have more room to grow for sure. So in terms of the ranking here for Natalie, I'm going to put you in the Shelf Novice category as well. And I would love to see what these books are behind these books, which maybe could go on this shelf over here if you have room and if it's up your alley, if you want to do that. And there we have it, some beautiful bookshelves put into the ring, ranked on a scale. And I think we have some beautiful bookshelves in this list for sure that should be in magazines. And if I were to ever create a magazine and call it, Bookshelf Life, a lot of these books would be on the front cover of that magazine for sure because they are stunning. So let me know down below which was your favorite bookshelf out of this list, and if you want me to do another bookshelf battle in the future using anybody's photo of their bookshelf. Not author or not booktuber, it don't matter, just ranking bookshelves as they come in, no matter who you are. So have a good one, keep reading, peace.